Hello and welcome back. Gold Coast Broker here with another update on the U.S. housing market for summer 2023. This is a recent article from Redfin News by Dana Anderson, published on June 28th, 2023. It says drought-stricken Phoenix is the top destination for relocating home buyers. A record 1/4 of Redfin.com house hunters are looking to relocate to a different part of the country as high mortgage rates make affordable areas more attractive. But even though homebuyers moving to a new metro area make up a bigger piece of the home buying pie than ever before, the number of relocators has dropped as the overall housing market cools. Phoenix, Las Vegas, and parts of Florida are the most popular destination for relocators, even as the risks from other natural disasters intensify. The state of Arizona recently limited home building in the Phoenix area due to a lack of water. Relatively small East Coast beach towns are the number one destinations for home buyers, leaving Washington, D.C. and Boston. A record 1/4, or that 25.4% to be exact, of home buyers nationwide are looking to move to different metro area, up from 23% a year ago and less than 20% before the pandemic. So that's gone up 5%. A record share of home buyers are relocating because high mortgage rates have made housing more expensive than ever, making relatively affordable areas more attractive, such as Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Miami, where the typical home is much less expensive than coastal cities like San Francisco and New York, are the most popular metros for home buyers moving to a different part of the country. That's in spite of those places facing ever worsening climate risks like heat, drought, and flooding. But that doesn't mean more home buyers are looking to relocate. In fact, the number of home buyers looking to relocate to a new metro is down 7% from a year ago, the biggest decline on record, as elevated mortgage rates push many Americans out of the home buying game altogether. Still, out-of-town moves are holding up better than in-town moves. The number of home buyers looking to move within their current hometown is down a record 18%. In other words, the overall home buying pie has shrunk, but buyers moving to a new metro make up the biggest piece of that pie on record. The data in this report is based on the searches of about 2 million Redfin.com users who viewed for sale homes online across more than 100 metro areas between March 2023 to May 2023. So here's some more of the methodology. Basically, they're saying remote work is responsible for the uptick in the share of home buyers moving to a new metro area since the start of the pandemic. The share has been trending upward since 2020, when remote work became commonplace and gave many Americans the freedom to move to a different, often more affordable part of the country. As elevated mortgage rates have cooled the housing market over the last year, people who are purchasing houses outside of their current hometown have taken up a growing share of the home buying pie for a few reasons. Nearly 7%, hovering around 7% mortgage rates and still high home prices make cheaper areas more attractive. Additionally, people moving to an entirely new area may be less likely to put off home buying plans than people looking in their hometown. Maybe they're relocating for a major life change like a new job or to take care of a family member. Out-of-town home buyers move to Phoenix, Florida, despite high risks of drought and flooding. Phoenix is the most popular destination for home buyers looking to move to a different part of the country, followed by Las Vegas and several Florida metros. Popularity is determined by net inflow, a measure of how many more Redfin.com users look to move into an area than leave. Sunbelt metros are more popular among relocating home buyers because many of them are affordable compared to other parts of the U.S. The typical home in Phoenix, for instance, sells for $450,000. That's up significantly from before the pandemic because remote work made the area explode in popularity, but is still about half the $800,000 cost of the typical home in Seattle, the most common origin of people moving to Phoenix. Even though the flow of home buyers moving into Phoenix has slowed as high mortgage rates have cooled, the housing market is still attracting more out-of-towners than anywhere else in the U.S. That's in spite of Phoenix facing worsening drought and heat risk. Arizona recently said it will stop issuing home building permits in some parts of the Phoenix desert. partly because migration to the area and extensive development is straining water resources. That will cap the number of new communities in the Phoenix area and could eventually increase the cost of housing. Most of the other popular destinations for homebuyers also face extreme climate risks. For instance, parts of the Sacramento area face high wildfire danger, and many Florida metros are very susceptible to flooding. Some insurance companies have even stopped providing coverage to homeowners in California and Florida due to high risk of damage by natural disasters. Climate risks haven't yet stopped many home buyers from moving into areas that don't have enough water, like Phoenix, and places that could eventually be underwater, like coastal Florida, said Redfin chief economist Daryl Fairweather. That's because even though Sunbelt home prices soared during the pandemic, those metros remain a bargain for people relocating from expensive coastal cities. Arizona's recent limit on new construction isn't likely to deplete inventory enough or push prices up enough to change that calculus much in the short term. Top 10 metro home buyers are moving into by net flow. So here's the chart of the top 10. Net inflow basically is the number of Redfin home searchers looking to move into a metro area minus the number of searchers looking to leave. So the net difference between that in going in versus going out. Net inflow comparing this year to last year, May 2023 versus May 2022. So, number one, Phoenix. Net inflow, 6,600. So, they were number one last year, and they're number one this year, but you could see that the net inflow still dropped significantly. Same with Las Vegas. They were number two last year, but their net inflow dropped significantly. Miami, the net inflow dropped even more. Look at the difference. So even though they were number three, well, that looks like they would have been on the top of the list. They were number one last year based on that number. Anyway, my apologies. So you can see goes Miami, Tampa, Orlando, North Port, Sarasota, Florida, Cape Coral, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Sacramento, then number 10, Houston. So the combined statistical areas with at least 500 users searching to and from the region. So, there are a lot of people using the website. It's pretty material. So you could see, what the numbers were last year. So Chicago and Los Angeles last year were pretty close in terms of their net inflows, right at 6,600. So you don't even see Los Angeles on the list this year. So they must have really dropped below even the top 10, below 3,700, because they went from 6,600 last year to below, not even making the list, meaning they're below 3,700. So more than half of the inflows that they had last year. Buyers are leaving Washington, D.C. and Boston for small beach towns. More home buyers are looking to move away from San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles than any other metro in the country, like I was just saying about L.A. 50% decrease in the number of net inflows. That's a lot less people who are wanting to move to Los Angeles this year compared to last year. Anyway, and then that's based on net outflow, a measure of how many more Redfin.com users are looking to leave a metro than move in, the net. Even before a remote work boom that allowed scores of people to move away from expensive coastal job hubs, a lot of home buyers left these areas in favor of more affordable housing markets. The most popular destinations are less expensive, sunny parts of the country, such as Las Vegas and Miami. But notably, smaller vacation hotspots now top the list of most popular destinations for people leaving two pricey coastal hubs, Washington, D.C. and Boston. Home buyers leaving Boston are most commonly going to Portland, Maine, a popular summer tourist spot, and buyers moving away from the nation's capital are most commonly moving to the Salisbury, Maryland metro area, home to popular beach towns like Bethany Beach, Delaware, and Ocean City, Maryland. The New York Times recently reported that quaint scenic vacation towns, including Salisbury and Cape Coral, Florida, are attracting a bigger chunk of remote workers than would be expected, given the small size of the local economies. These places are popular with home buyers, especially remote workers, not because of their vacation vibes, but because of their relative affordability. The typical Salisbury home, for instance, sells for $245,000 compared to $560,000 in Washington, D.C. So, again, a 50% difference in what you buy a home for. So, if you're willing to do the telecommute, if you don't have to go into the office, that makes perfect sense. Top 10 metros homebuyers are leaving by net outflow. So now this chart shows the same thing in reverse, but who's leaving? Net outflow, the number of Redfin home searchers looking to leave a metro area minus the numbers looking to move in. So net outflow. Number one, San Francisco, 29,300. Last year, there were even more, 40,000 wanted to leave this time last year. San Francisco. New York, 24,000 last year, a little bit more, but 26.6. Los Angeles, 21,000 net outflow. Last year, 31,000. So did drop. Washington, D.C., 17,000 this year, 19,000 last year. Boston, Massachusetts, 4,700 this year, 9,800. Look at how it just dropped between the 4 and the 5. It went from 17,000 net outflow to 47. So there's not much in between. And then last year, again, it was 9,800. So everybody, the net outflows have decreased. 19,000, that's a big drop right there. Portion of local users searching elsewhere. So 24% of the people want to move out of San Francisco. 29% of the people want to move out of New York. 18% of the people want to move out of Los Angeles. 19% of the people searching on Redfin want to move out of Washington. 20% of the people in Boston want to move out of that, based on the searches on Redfin. 20% for Seattle, Washington as well. But look at this, 77% Hartford, Connecticut. Like, that's, even though the numbers are small, that's a big number of people, that portion of local users searching elsewhere. So local users mean they live in Hartford, Connecticut, and they want to get out. Same thing. That's the biggest number. But next, Chicago, 3,300 versus 4,200. 17% of the searchers are looking to leave. Denver, Colorado, 35% of the searchers are looking to leave. And Minneapolis, Minnesota, 33%. A third of the people want to leave Minnesota. So they're not staying around. And this is combined statistical areas with at least 500 users searching. So that's a good pool of people. Below is a map of the most common origins of Redfin.com users who are moving to Miami. So look at everybody, just let's go to Miami. And, there's maps for all of these. We're not going to go through every single one, but you could see, and then the methodology. So, that's based on 2 million Redfin users across 100 metro areas from over a 2-month period of time, March to May of 2023. And basically looking at who's looking to move where, and it includes statistical areas with at least 500 users in each region. So very good report summarized by Dana Anderson, and that's all I wanted to share with you today. So thank you so much for listening. This is Gold Coast Broker here signing off. If you have any questions or referrals, you can give me an email at goldcoastbroker@gmail.com. Thanks again.